This is the problem strings for Bridges in Mathematics, Unit 2, Module 1, Session 3. In the Problem Strings tab of your notebook, turn to the next blank page and write More Fraction Models at the top and today's date. Then make your lines so that your page looks like mine and include these two equations in the problem section. Pause the video to do this, then hit play, and I will continue to begin the problem string. As we've been doing the last few days, we're going to think about how we can use money to solve these fraction equations. When we have 1/5 plus 1/20, we need to figure out what that will be in money. So how much is 1/5 in money? If we split $1 into 5 parts, that will be 20 cents each. Make sure you're writing down what I'm writing down. Then we need to find out how much is 1/20. If you don't remember, look back at your notes. In dollars and cents, 1/20 is 1 nickel or 5 cents. So 20 cents plus 5 cents equals 25 cents. We know that 25 cents is the same as what fraction? Look back in your notes if you don't remember and write it here. So in this first problem, we added 20 cents and 5 cents. But this time, we're going to be doing the opposite because instead of adding, we're now subtracting. So in your mind, you can still think about money, but this time we're going to start with 1/5. Here's my 1/5, and I'm going to be taking away this much. Okay, so when I take away, I need to cross out. So I'm going to cross out 5 cents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 cents. So I'm left with this much and this much. Count up how many cents that would be. Now we're going to write it down. 1/5 minus 1/20 equals. We know that 1/5 is still 20 cents. Here's my 20 cents right here. And I'm going to take away 5 cents. I'm going to take away 5 cents. How much do I have left? 15 cents, of course. Now, we need to figure out the tricky part. 15 cents is how much of a dollar? If you don't know, we can always write it over how many cents are in a whole dollar. How many cents are in a dollar? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 100 cents in a dollar. So we're going to put 100 as our denominator. And if we have 15 cents, this much, that tells us that 15 goes on top. Now, we can reduce this. When we reduce, we're going to see, 15 and 100 can both be divided by what number? We can divide them both by 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. And 100 divided by 5 is 20. So our answer could also be 3/20. Now, if I look back at my dollar piece, I know that 5 cents is a nickel, and nickels are 1/20. 5 cents or 1/20. And I have 3 of those right here. 5 cents, 1/20. And here's 5 more. 1/20 is 5 cents. So yes, I do know my answer, that 1/20 plus 1/20 plus 1/20 is 3/20. Make sure you have that written down, then draw a line so we can move on to our next problem. Now write our next problem. 2/5 plus 19/20. Then you can rewrite it over here so that we can show our work underneath. So, we need to be thinking in fifths now. A fifth is worth how much of a dollar? It equals 20 cents. But here we have 2/5. So 2/5 would be how much? 1/5 plus 1/5. That equals 2/5, or 20 cents plus 20 cents. So 2/5 equals 40 cents. Now we need to figure out how much 19/20 equal in cents. So 20th, 1/20 equals how many cents? 5 cents. So we need to take that 19 times. There's 2 ways you could do this. You could say, I'm going to skip count by 5, which we can do. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, there's 10. 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, there's 15. 80, 85, 90, 95. 95 cents. The other way we could have done this is by saying, I know that there are 20 nickels in a dollar. So, if I took away 1 minus 1 nickel, I would have 19 nickels, which is the same as saying $1 minus 5 cents equals 95 cents. So either way, we could have got that 19/20 equal 95 cents. So in our problem, we have 40 cents plus 95 cents. Ooh, we can tell this is going to be larger than 1 because 95 is only 5 cents away from 1, and we have 40. So add those together. That will give us $1.35. Now we need to make it a fraction. So if you get this far and you're unsure what to do with $1.35, you can always use your money mats. Here, I figured out that we could have 1 whole for $1 plus 35 cents. 10, 20, 30, 5. Now, these are not all the same type of piece, so I need to figure out how to make them all the same type of piece. I figured that the easiest way would be to cut these in half and make them all be pieces of 5. Nickels are pieces of 5. We know a nickel is worth how much? What fraction of a dollar? It is 1/20. So I don't have just 1/20, I have 1/20 7 times. how much will 7 nickels be in fractions? In total, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 twentieths. 7 twentieths. And we have our $1, which is our 1 whole. So altogether, they are 1 and 7 twentieths. There's our answer in fractions and in decimals. Go ahead and write that down. Pause the video if you need to. Draw your line and we will move on to our next problem. It is 1/25 plus 1/20. Write that down on the left side and on the right side of the line. 1/25 plus 1/20. So we know that 4 quarters equal $1, but that is not 25ths because quarters are fourths. So we need to look at the dollar and figure out how we can split it into 25 parts. I think because we already know that a quarter is in fourths, we should be able to see here, if we take 1 from each of these, that will be 1 part. Then we can take another one. There's another part. And another part. And we can keep going. I do think this is a bit confusing to see, so I'm going to take my dollar mat and break it down into 25 different parts. Alright, I have split this dollar up into 25 different parts. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to keep going. I have 25 parts. Okay, so originally I had 1/100ths of $1. Now I have 25 different parts. And there are 4 in each one. So that tells me that if we split it up into 25ths, that there are 4 parts in each 25th. So 1/5 is the same as 4 cents. 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents in each one. 1/25 is equal to 4 cents. That one, now that I've explained it, is really good to memorize. 1/25 is the same as 4 cents. Now we have 1/20. If you don't remember what 1/20 is equal, go ahead, look back in your notes. Pause the video if you need to. 1/20 is the same as a nickel, or 5 cents. So 4 cents and 5 cents equals 9 cents. We found our answer in a decimal. Now we need to find it as a fraction. So with my money mats, I put down 9 pennies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to get 9 cents. Now I'm trying to figure out what's the fraction. So because on my money mat, I can see that I have 9 covered out of 100. I'm going to write 9 out of 100. Now, can I reduce this? Can 9 and 100 both be divided by the same number? No, they cannot. So, this is my answer. When I read this, it says 9/100ths. When I read this as a decimal, it is also 9/100ths. So I know they are both the same. Draw your line so that we can do the next problem. It's going to be 1/25 plus 1/4. Write that. As we've been practicing, 1/25, think back to the last problem, What equals 1/25 in money? In the last problem, we saw that 1/25 equals 4 cents. So underneath 1/25, you're going to write 4 cents. Then, think back, what money equals 1/4 of a dollar? When we took our notes a few days ago, we saw that 1/4 right here is 25 cents. Now add those together. It equals 29 cents. Now it's our job to figure out, what does 1/25 plus 1/4 equal? I'm going to get out my money mat and write and put these down so that we can see it more visually. Here's my money mat. I have 4 cents right here, which is the same as 1/25. And I have my 25 cents right here, which is the same as 1/4. So I have my 1/4 and my plus my 1/25. That equals 29 cents. Now, what fraction does this equal? Is there any way we can move them around to make something that's the same? We have 29 pieces counted right here. So 29 I'm going to write as my numerator because that's how many we're talking about. And total, there is how many? Total, we have 100 squares, or 100 cents. So 29 hundredths. Is there anything we can divide both of those numbers by to get a smaller number? No, there's not, because 29 is a prime number. Now, I can check my answer. Because this says 29 hundredths, our decimal, when we read it, also says 0 and 29 hundredths. They're the same, so we know that is correct. Make sure you have that all written down, and then draw a line so we can do our last problem. Our final problem for this problem set is 1/100th plus 1/25. Make sure you write that down. Let's switch and think about money. 1/100th is worth how much? If you said 1 cent, you are correct. Now, let's figure out how much 1/25th is worth. Think back to our last problem. 1/25th was worth 4 cents. So on my money model, I'm going to add that also. Now, here's an easy problem. 1 cent plus 4 cents. What does that equal? It equals 5 cents. Good job. So, what is another way that we could write 5 cents to get an answer? The easiest way to write 5 cents is a nickel. We know that a nickel is what fraction of a dollar? A nickel is 1/20th of a dollar. So that tells us that our answer is going to be 1/20th. We could have said, oh, I think it's 5 over 100. But then we would have had to say, can I divide these by the same number? Yes, I can. I can divide them by 5. And that would give me 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 100 divided by 5 is 20. So either way, we get our same answer, 1/20. Finish writing that down. Great job today, guys. You finished a really hard problem string, and I'm so proud of you. As we have learned over the last few days, the money model is useful for adding and subtracting fractions with denominators that are factors of 100. So denominators are the bottom numbers. All of these are factors of 100. All of these numbers are factors of 100. If they are in the denominator, that means we can use money to solve the math problem. If there is a 1 in the denominator, it will make a whole number. If there is a 2 in the denominator, it will be halves, like the 50-cent piece. If there is a 4 in the denominator, we will be using the quarter to figure out how many fourths there are. If there is a 5 in the denominator, it's the same as having 2 dimes. If there's a 10 in the denominator, it's the same as using a dime. If there are 20ths, we will be using the nickel. When we have 25ths, we'll be using 4 cents. If we use 4 cents for 25ths, when we have 50ths, we will use 2 cents. That one is not hard to remember because when we have hundredths, we use 1 cent. And 50ths just double 20ths. Pause this video right here and make sure this is written somewhere on your notes page. Go ahead, pause the video. When you're finished, we are done with the lesson.